Hi again. How are you? Yeah, I want us to speak about the 6th of April. I don't know how do you feel about it, but according to me, the 6th of April, if it was according to me, if I was God or if I was ancestors of Africa or whatever the universe, I would cancel it for South Africa because the 6th of April becomes one of the most cruel days that we've come to see as mostly, I would say, black people of South Africa. Um, 6th of April in 1652, we know for a fact that that man with other men, Jan van Riebeeck, arrived in Cape Town and wanted to come and settle in Cape Town by fire, by force. Yes, coming all the way from Holland. That is one thing that because after that, I think we all know, after the settling of Jan van Riebeeck, South Africa and Africa in general, kind of became a home of 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 black people who did not feel who felt like visitors, I would say, in their own country. That was the arrival of Jan van Riebeeck in on the 6th of April, 1652. So that day had created a lot of pain for Africans, more specifically South Africans, because everything that happened after that was to the detriment and to the disrespect and dehumanization of a black person. So other than the arrival of Jan van Riebeeck, we remember the 6th of April as the execution, or I would rather say the hanging and the killing of Comrade Solomon Mahlangu. Um, so that coincidence, or whatever that plan, really now made sure that this day becomes one of the most cruel or cruelest, whatever the English we can use, the most cruel days that we have come to realize or to experience in our lifetime. Every year, when the day of 6th of April, there is a lot of pain within us, as black people in the tip of the African continent, that is in South Africa, because of what has happened. And part of the things that Solomon Mahlangu fought for, some people decided to sell out on those things when they were in prison, because some people were convinced that we so-called need what we call a rainbow nation. I don't doubt of a rainbow nation where, the resources of Africans must remain in the hands of Africans. I don't mind that rainbow nation, but I mind a rainbow nation where the 90% of the country owns 10% of the resources. I mind that rainbow nation. I don't like that rainbow nation. I want a rainbow nation whereby the crocodiles write their own history and lions write their own history. I don't want a rainbow nation where crocodiles write the history of lions. And that's the rainbow nation we are having. Because some people decided to go to prison and they were taken out and they were housed in prison somewhere in Durban, and then they were made to change. They were promised to say no, they will be made world icons and all of that. After they were promised all of that, they decided to sell out. And it's true, they sold out. And then, of course, until we owed nothing. Whatever Krizani fought for, whatever Solomon Mahlangu fought for, whatever, Magalisa Robert Sobukwe fought for, went into thin air. And that, of course, the 6th of April is the beginning of it all. But let us look at this now, Comrade Solomon. We know for a fact Solomon was born well in Doornkop in Middelburg, but grew up in Pretoria. Doornkop is in a place in Middelburg. Grew up, came out a very small when he was very small, because Mama Bereka or Asebenza Beka. I will say in Ndebele because he was in Ndebele ngokwamahlangu ikosi. Beka Bereka Epitori umamakhe. So he came in because he was a child of a domestic worker. And that's where he grew up. But he could not finish school based on what he saw in the country. Why must I continue being in class when I'm being forced to learn in Afrikaans? Why must I continue being in class when I can do better for this country? I can go train as a soldier and fight for my country. Those were the decisions that were taken by Solomon and other comrades, of course. And this video is more specifically on why are we betraying the legacy of Solomon Matangu. We are betraying it in each and every way possible as young black Africans, black young South Africans, by not wanting to take back what is ours. You know, we've got political parties who claim around all the time whenever we go to elections. They talk about taking back the land and all of that, but when the elections are done, they keep mum. They are quiet. And it's important that we speak about the issue of land because the land is ours anyway. So we've betrayed Solomon to an extent that we subscribe to the culture. We celebrate the 18th of July more than the 6th of April. Boy, because the 18th of July is sponsored. The 6th of April is not sponsored. That's why we don't celebrate it. The 6th of April is in fact disturbing the status quo. So now the puppet masters do not like the 6th of April, do not like us talking about the 6th of April, do not like the media to talk about the 6th of April, because it makes black people to be aware of the real situation that they are in. And that is the situation of being led by puppets, the situation of black mask but white souls, your Cyril Ramaphosa's and all of that. Solomon fought for this so-called freedom, which is still not there because we don't have the means of production. We don't have anything. We earn less than average, regardless of the degrees that we hold as black people. We train people, we don't get promoted. Not that we want it, but we don't get promoted, but just because of the color of our skins. Those are the things that we see. But what is it that we need to do with respecting the legacy of Solomon? Number one, we don't love our hair. If you look at our girls and all of that, they love the other hair more than ours. There are a lot of things that we are doing, and I will have more lectures on that because, I mean, this is what you can get with a lot of money at Vets University or UCT. So I will have more lectures on that, on what is it that we have actually done to betray Solomon. But I want to say this, we need, as black people specifically, to hate the 6th of April more than anything, and love even that 18th of July less than anything, because we are promoting the what the master wants. The master controls information. They want us to promote the 18th of April because the 18th of April is about protecting certain assets of certain people because there is this rainbow nation and all of that. And if you remember Solomon, I've just wrote his quote again because I always forget it. I'm growing up. He said, my blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. My blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. Tell my people that I love them. They must continue the fight. We should be the fruits of freedom, me and you. And we should continue the fight. The fight for freedom is not over. The fight for freedom will be over when the land is ours. The fight for freedom will be over when we take back, we own the means of production, we own the spaces, we own the economy. So far we don't own the economy. You know, we are being thought as less humans just because of how we look. So those are the things we need to look at. And the problem is that the people who betray us mostly happen to be black people. You'll see how Cyril Ramaphosa killed black men in Marikana and all those things. There are so many things that have happened. Because you'll remember even when Solomon was jailed on the 13th of June, 1977, he was jailed by a black man. I mean, who first asked them what lad exin vad yeledar. He was asking what they were having in the plastic, in the bags that they were having, and they were having AK-47 and grenades and all of that. But it was always black people who imprisoned black freedom fighters. Even today, when we say let us promote this video, or even today when we say let us speak about these things, let us speak about these lectures, let us vote for people who really want to change this country. We don't support each other because we do not listen to ourselves. We don't listen to each other as black people. In fact, we listen to the sponsored media by certain people. We listen to people who are sponsored by certain people, by the puppets who are sponsored by the puppet masters. If a person like me, Bongani, would come out of nowhere and speak whatever he's saying, we're not going to subscribe to that because, who is he? Ungubani yena? all that type of a situation. So those are the things we need to look into. We must continue the legacy of Comrade Solomon Matangu. We must never be deterred. So I will remember the words of Solomon Matangu when he said to his mom, says, "Why are you crying in front of these dogs? I don't care what they do to me. And if they spill my blood, maybe it will give birth to other Solomons. Why are you crying in front of these dogs? I don't care what they do to me. And if they spill my blood, maybe it will give birth to other Solomons." I'm not sure if you are another Solomon. I am another Solomon. I am another Solomon Mahlangu. Nginguye uSolomon Matangu. How many of us are Solomon's Mahlangu? How many of us? How many of us?